months and notifications to come out, so I know they take a few minutes. So hopefully the music that's really light doesn't get us a copyright ding. If you're here and you get to hang out, that's awesome. I wanted to make sure that I got somewhere where I had table space and light, because I really don't do any streaming at night, as you guys know. And it's Friday. We got a few things that I want to talk about that kind of reflect on over the week, and maybe it's very media of me, more like not, but awesome, that's cool. Alright, I will see your comments too, guys, if you leave your comments. Just to give you kind of a bit of the ambience, right up until I started the stream, everything was super cool. Someone obviously had an altercation with a skunk, either outside or with their vehicle that's outside. Streaming and smells is like bad luck for me, it seems like. It's not very pleasant. Let's see if I can figure out how to do this now. Can y'all hear me okay? I think it's going through the AirPod. I hope you can't hear the music coming out of the speakers. I cannot get this thumbnail changed on YouTube. A lot of the background sound. No, it definitely says my AirPods. I don't think Prism lets me, strangely enough. I'm gonna guess it's probably going through. Oh wow. Actually, it looks like Prism got an update. I see 4 views on Facebook, 1 view on Twitch, a view on YouTube. Yeah, Rod, I tried to do that. Background, no, a lot of the background, I'm sure. Alright, for the sake. So it would appear that I am unable. Yeah, it's definitely going through the phone. Have a disaster here in the morning. Yeah, just. I'm gonna guess it didn't change. So it's a little weird to feel like I'm talking to myself without my AirPod in. Thank you. Switch ears.
Search and rescue come looking for you.
we can give this a shot. There's not a lot that says I might get to keep the video up. I might not. If they hear too much of it, they'll mute, sections of the video. We noticed when we were at Beffard's Estates the other day. I don't know, Facebook said there was 1 minute and 30 seconds. Maybe someone drove by with their car, music playing. That may have caused them to mute it. Pretty positive it wasn't while I was talking, and we just listened to that pump truck. So that's really what I'm here, and I kind of want to talk about tonight, guys. I called Cheesley's today, to inquire as media representing, INU Media. They can't tell us anything, and it's really kind of unfortunate the way that day kind of went. And I couldn't go home and sleep tonight without taking a minute to talk to you guys about what we've seen, and obviously what the result of me going and filming something like that was. And the information that comes from the lack of information, I think, is really important to know, and I want to make sure that I'm sharing that with you guys. So my initial goal was 100 followers, right? Because to get the demographic information from Facebook, they kind of hold it hostage until you've got, a following. And sure, that's fine, that's great. I really could use that information to help service you guys as far as what municipalities we're covering. I see a signal drop. I hope everything is okay. I'm going to give it a second before I move on. It's going back up. I don't want you in this video and audio at the same time. I actually called AT&T today and made sure that they were aware that the interstate out here is having intermittent signal just while I was driving, voice and data. So for those of you that know me know I have a tech background. I did never intend on being boots on the ground, but I went out and covered Cheesley's pump truck pumping waste out of the lift station at Beffard's Estates the other day. And this is what I really want to share with you. Yeah, I know, Dave. Thanks for being patient, guys. So, itself, yeah, it was, yeah, I had some similar issues, guys. We're teetering on just barely the edge, but I don't want to take up like a lot of your time. So, anyway, moral of the story, like I said, I don't want to take up a ton of your time. That hour and 30-minute video, okay, reached 628 people. Yeah, it is buffering pretty bad. Alright, let me pick up my stuff, see if I can walk you guys just slightly out and get something slightly improved. I might have to go and do this from home. My life is surrounded by poop. Yes. That's a pretty accurate statement, but apparently you can hear me okay, and my husband cannot. Because he just sent me a message and was like, hey, you might be fighting a losing battle. We have such good luck in most places right here around Lawrenceville. I guess tonight's not it. So let's grab our stuff. I mean, guys, if you're watching, do not move. Oh, it's working now that I'm like packing stuff up. As soon as I start to talk about something important, though, the corporate overlords will catch us. They'll be like, not today, Satan. So, all right, yeah, it's holding. And if the less I move, the less pixels that change, the better the signal will hold. So, in short, here's what I want you guys to know. I want you to know how much I appreciate that we reached 628 folks with that live stream. There you go. You can see that. That's crazy, right? That's great. That's great. But here's where the message really is. Okay. Let's see. Where was the last meeting? Oh, County Commissioners meeting. 115. All right. That's it. I did an IRL that day. Facebook didn't leave it because I walked up to a menu at a restaurant that was playing music, of course, through their speakers, and they cut the whole feed. So that's not available for public to view. I can see it. YouTube didn't keep after the first 12 minutes of it. And I'm working out, some little technical hiccups. Which if you guys, that find value in what I'm doing and want to help and support, I'm putting an Amazon wish list together to kind of help me put my equipment in order. Don't have audio equipment. I've got a lot of video stuff. My audio lags. I'm really well aware of it. I started a business without any capital to do what I think is the right thing, and that's always an opinion. But just like the news, they're allowed to have theirs now. We don't talk politics in the White House conference room, but you do. So, whatever, I guess anything goes now. If I'm the next Peter Ducey, I'm the next Peter Ducey. That's what I was giggling about to my husband. And my friends that know me hope that that's not what's happening. But you know what? It is what it is. So we did reach out to Sheasley's today by phone. We called them. They can't tell us anything, obviously. It's a job that they did for what they basically, consider a private entity, and that's okay. Because we're press, we get a different reaction when we call and ask questions. And I identify myself as media. Topic number 2. I did reach out to DEP, Public Relations, got back to me. You know what though? Yesterday, we shouldn't, but you know what? It's public and it's real, and it may or may not, affect everyone at some point. But when we talk about fiscal responsibility about Lawrenceville, the White House press conference yesterday was quite the spectacle, because everybody's probably aware now about the student loan forgiveness legislation and executive orders that are being pushed through our government right now. What I found most interesting and took away from the press conference yesterday was the White House is pushing fiscal responsibility, but they're pushing legislation. They have no idea what it's going to cost. So I don't understand how that's... I wouldn't... I'm going to wait. We're going to step outside, because at this point, that's the best thing I can do. And you know what? Maybe even head to the car. If that's how this works out, guys, that's how this works out. It wouldn't be the first time I've had to move. Look at TikTok. Okay. We're gonna try as we get out of here. Its signal is coming and going, so like.
That's what it is. I told you it's not real good.
I don't understand what you were doing, but I was trying from the hand signal.
Oh, here.
The internet's not good here.
It works so good outside. I thought if I got close to the window.
So I have Verizon.
I'm AT&T and I had to call in today. That's my page. So the code, if you scan it with your camera, goes right to my Facebook page, which is where I do almost all my live streams are there, plus the other content.
Okay, this is on the city council of you?
I'm not part of that. I'm an independent media.
No, that's what I meant. It's about.
Some of it is Lawrenceville Borough, Tioga Borough. We are to the commissioners meeting.
know what's going on because this is the most corrupt town I've ever been in my life.
So,
I've lived in 8 different states in my life. I'm originally from Kentucky. This is the most corrupt one I've ever heard of in my life.
because I we went here because of what we thought the community that people were getting. And the school is great. The school is great. The school is great. They've got great programs. It's made not good ideas. And they don't get together. Fiscal responsibility. We're all talking about money.
Well, when part of your town is suing the other part of your town, that's crazy. It's asinine.
Oh, but it's one of the greatest parts about living in corporate America. You know?
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
You go either way. Sit around for 6 months with no water bill, and then they slap you with it all at one time.
Well, and with questionable quality of water, I guess. Yeah.
Bad water.
That's
The
what
other day
we're.
I called my husband in there and said, "Look, watch this." I turned the sink on and it was nothing but brown water coming out.
Yeah.
I said, he just got out of the shower. I said, you know, you shower.
Well, thank you guys very much. For sure. Listen, we have the greatest interactions with folks, you guys. I really enjoy doing this. You might learn some stuff. Hey, and if you have questions, make sure you ask them. You don't get answers to questions if you don't ask them.
The only bad question is not asking.
There you go. Thank you so much, you guys, for being awesome. Thanks. All right. So, we're gonna come right here. Look at it go up. It's going up. That was gold. Thank you, Jay Bird. It kind of was, but it smells like skunk so bad. Guys, I know no one wants to watch up my nose. Give me a second. I wanted the table setting, okay? I think you guys are in my AirPods, maybe, so I can walk away a little bit. So the microphones I'm actually looking into getting would allow me to do something like 650 feet away, lapel or, you know, like table style. So I think that's what I'm looking for. I have gotten a cool little mount now for my phone, which you guys can see here. I should not have to do any more MacGyvering on public office properties. There's probably glitter up there. I was playing with some Halloween decorations with Granny today. Oh, I did it. I called her Granny in front of everybody. Tell her she's not watching my stuff yet. So, all right, let me unload here. Because what's really cool about this is, you know, we can just, I'm cool with standing. We're still kind of out here in the light a little bit. We'll find out if I'm good in a minute. I'm stuck with my shirt, but here's what we can do. There's y'all up, so we'll just do this right out of the back of the car. We'll do it tailgate, pretend tailgate style. I love you guys. You're all my family. I don't even know if anyone else is watching, but you know what? That's okay. Why does it seem like it's so zoomed in on me? Okay. Well, I guess that's what happens. I know, and everybody tonight was like, get a green screen. And I'm like, that's not genuine. We do it all live. That's right, Jay. We do it all live. We do the best we can. So, all right. The information I wanted to share with you. Because I want to share information with you. I also still kind of want to sit. So I will have a phone business line really soon, or at least a number so that you guys can you can text me, right? So hello Fudge Nuggets. I probably shouldn't say that out loud, but you know, I'm famous for doing a lot of things I shouldn't do. Okay, look at this. Adapt and overcome, right? That's how we roll. So at least we figure it out anyway. And we're still not violating anyone's privacy. it's going. I ended up here on weird pretenses, but look at that. We've got fantastic signal. It's cool enough out. I probably could have done 60 frames so you guys really could see how bad my eyebrows need help. That's that. So what I want to share with you is, I know that is awesome, guys. And that's why I thought this would be a great place to stop, because it's so close to like where I get good signal when we do meetings and stuff. So I was really hoping that would work in my favor. Just had to get out of the light. So put some tweezers on the wish list. I love you guys. All right. As you have to be able to see straight with both eyes. Like, that's why I don't wear makeup, because I can't put it like the same on both sides. So, all right. For those of y'all on Facebook, I would love it if you said hi, especially anybody that's local. I really appreciate all of your input that you have to give. When I see y'all in town, we talk. You guys are like, hey, I know who you are. You're that girl. And I watch your videos, and I see what you post on Facebook, and that makes me feel awesome. What makes me feel bad is that a video of literally a poop pumping truck and a fence got more views than the stuff that we found going wrong. And I started out talking about the White House press conference yesterday. Hi, Cindy. And not you. Oh my goodness, the lady that's on my phone thought I was talking to her. So the White House press corps conference yesterday. And I think it's important the way, not only that the press corps conducted themselves, but how the administration is being represented, and the importance of fiscal responsibility, because that was really the conversation. So you guys are, aware of the college loan forgiveness, up to $20,000 for certain Pell Grant recipients. I received a Pell Grant when I went to college. It wasn't a lot. My mom was in school at the same time, and it was all based, on your household. So I didn't get as good of financial aid as my mom did. But I did the responsible thing, and I paid it back. I don't have any college loan debt. I took all my taxes for quite a few years and put it towards that. So I did what I would say is the responsible thing. And when we talk about fiscal responsibility in our government, and I think that's why I say yesterday was really important. This bill and this legislation is really important, because they have no idea how much it's going to cost. They don't know how many people are going to apply for student loan forgiveness. They don't know how many people are eligible for $10,000 or for $20,000, because without doing their research, they are just throwing this out there and hoping and praying that either someone volunteers to pay for it, or they're going to steal your money and pay for it, and you're going to pay for it, and I'm going to pay for it, our hard-working dollars. And life is too short. Life is too short, all right, to not act now. I could not go home tonight and even consider working on editing some of my videos the projects I have going on, just for you guys. And I was really distracted even working this morning about how do I let people know, we're missing out on what's really important. We're missing out on what matters in your life, right? What is the immediate threat? And a lot of people think that, our federal government is a threat right now. No, we're our own greatest threat, guys, and it's each other. If we don't figure out how to come together, we have to come together. I'm not a resident of the Lawrenceville borough. That's part why it was kind of exciting to take this on. Actually, I can grab my battery now. Because, there's no ramifications as far as public goes. I'm new here. I don't really know anybody. I'm getting to know people now, and I think that's awesome. This wasn't how I wanted to do it. Don't really hang out at the bar, but the community events have been awesome for hey, hi, we met Urbanos who did the face paintings. I got the coolest face painting ever. as an adult, like even ever as a kid, but I had to be an adult, and I had to participate in that in order to get that. That was cool. And we didn't even have a successful live stream that day. And oh my gosh, I can't deal with the shadow in my face because, you know, that's not what a good videographer does. So. Yes, and Cindy, keep pressing. And just like we keep talking about, we can't give up, because if we give up, they win. And who they is, that's the question, right? Who is they? Who is the threat? We've got these papers, right? We've got this stuff. And let me show you guys. And I want to read what DEP wrote back to me. All right, you guys, if any of you guys are watching, you were here for the commissioners meeting. We specifically asked all 3 commissioners to hypothetically, to respond to a hypothetical situation where, you know, how would you feel if one of your colleagues called me a derogatory name in public during one of your meetings? Okay, that was one of the questions that we posed to them. We also asked them, you know, what they were doing to help Lawrenceville, you know, with this conundrum, I guess, this legal conundrum of FEMA violations that go back to so far, you know, 2019 and 2017 is around the time the legislation was passed for some of the SAFE Act and the drinking water and the FEMA laws, you know, and they clearly have given everybody plenty of time, I think personally myself, to implement these changes. And there's growing pains with everything. The growing pains with me live streaming, kind of everybody learning what it's like to have someone around with a camera, what our rights are, right? What our rights are as citizens. When I left the Tioga County Commissioners' first meeting I went to, no, you didn't get to experience any of that or observe any of that. It was an experience for me, for sure. But it kind of gave me a heads up on how people were going to react to me. And I hope, you know, no green screen. I hope that my intent is transparent. We called Sheasley's, guys, today. They can't answer any questions for us. You know, a lot of people are really reluctant, especially when I say, hey, I'm representing Media LLC, Eye on You Media LLC. I immediately get put into HR or PR, or public relations, or human services, because nobody wants to get anybody else in trouble. And that's not what we're here to do. We're not here to get anybody in trouble. My goal is to make sure that you guys are informed, right? The number of residents that actually can or have time to show up to these meetings are small, right? And this is your money at work for you guys, your money at work for you. And I'm your neighbor. When my friends do well, I do better. Okay, is if we want to go see a movie together, it's better that my friends can pay for their own ticket. No one wants that friend that's always bumming a beer and cigarettes. I mean, I don't want you to be my friend because I have beer or cigarettes or an hour and 30 minutes of a pump truck in a fence. That's also very indicative, you know, of what is really going on here. And I guess that's the conversation that I want to have with you guys. There's a few things on my mind that are personal to me, that I think is important. If it was more it wasn't routine. Well, and that's what, so we have to wait till Monday. And Cindy brings up a great point. We have to wait. The office is only open Mondays and Wednesdays, 7 or 7:30 to 3. Most of us have day jobs. There's not a lot of time, you know, in our schedule. So Lawrenceville has a new email address. Few folks got it. Not sure if that was kind of like a Canvas type email. I'm not sure how he got on the list, but hey, I'm cool with it. I'm definitely not going to complain. So the Lawrenceville email is going to be Lawrenceville Borough, BORO @frontier.com, and I can probably post that for you guys, but there's a whole lot of email addresses on top of that. That was an LOL email. I'll think about it, talking about it in a minute. So, really important though. Let me try to stay on track. I'm all over the place. So, the White House is talking about fiscal responsibility. The White House is passing legislation. They don't know how much it's going to cost, and they have no idea where the money is going to come from, all right? But they know that the Treasury is going to start performing better. Their profits and their revenue is going to go up because we know that the Treasury is not controlled by our federal government. They're a completely separate entity, and they do not answer to our federal government. So any questions that you have for the Treasury, you are pretty guaranteed not to get answered because they don't answer to anyone. What that indicates to me is they have no intention on telling you where they're going to spend your money or how much of your money they're going to spend on this, because some people have been, fiscally irresponsible. Those of us that are fiscally responsible feel like this is kind of a kick in the gut. And this isn't fair. I paid for my college. Are you going to give me my 10 or 20 grand of my college money back? What do I have to do to prove to you that I couldn't afford to do it then? And you know what I'm doing with that college education now? Let me tell you how much it was worth, those thousands of dollars. So that's my opinion on that, just my view. But if your government is not being fiscally responsible with your money, if you give your kid a credit card and they don't act right, do you let them, do you keep giving them more lines of credit? Do you give them more money? What do you do? No, you don't. You take it away. When those bills come in every month, how many of us, raise your hand, I'm going to do it anyway, but how many of us go over your bills and you're like, what exactly am I paying for? You don't think I ordered new internet service and canceled the old one before the new one came in, or ordered it not knowing how much it was going to cost a month? No. I mean, that goes on my P&L report. So our own personal profit and loss, our own P&L reports, our own profit and loss report should reflect our government, because if our government is working for us, that should look like ours, okay? We should be running this town like it's our business, like it's our house, like it's our mortgage, like it's our cell phone bill, because it is. The bottom line is it is your cell phone bill. It is your water bill. You are getting what you pay for. If you don't hold the people accountable for the way that they're spending your money, you don't have an option. The two choices are you let them keep stealing your money, or you stop paying it. Now, as a business owner and being self-employed, I will say that it is imperative that I keep a record of my expenses, okay? And then, obviously any profit, which is non-existent, and I don't get paid for this. There will never be payroll for this. The business will support itself. I'm fully aware of that. I might be committing a crime. The mosquitoes are definitely going to find me interesting. So, moral of the story, again, try to stay on track because the comments are cool. I love that you're interacting. But your government is spending your money. If you don't think that they're spending it in the way that you want it to be spent, you shouldn't keep doing nothing. You wouldn't keep giving your kid money if they were spending it on stuff that they weren't supposed to, or that wasn't, a responsible choice. Most people cut those people off, and that's how that really should work. So with that being said, I want to get into what we communicated about with DEP, because an hour and 30 minutes of a Sheasley's pump truck, I'm so grateful for it. And I appreciate everything, the support from you guys, but this is indicative that there's an issue. So these are the questions they answered that I asked. And I have written them back this morning, and I will follow up with you, but they haven't gotten back with me, and I don't expect them to until next week. It's a Friday. So I asked, has there been any resolution to the water meter reading discrepancies expressed by the operator in the past reports and residents' discussion in relation to the changes in their bills? I've had a couple people show me some water bills. Water production and usage discrepancies date back to early 2021, and I was hoping for some clarification about those. DEP's response is as follows. No meter-specific concerns have been brought to DEP's attention. DEP does not regulate water utility billing. as general background information, there is always some degree of difference between the amount of water produced at a treatment plant and the amount that is billed through customer meters. This is referred to as, quote, unaccounted for or non-revenue water. Those terms describe any water used or lost that is not metered, billed through customer connections. That could include lost through leaking water mains, valves, service lines, water taken from fire hydrants for firefighting events, system flushing, unauthorized persons taking water from hydrants, etc., water flowing through unmetered service connections, water flowing through broken or inaccurate customer meters, etc. All right, so DEP explains why there may be discrepancies in water readings, but really feel like they don't address like the folks that showed me their water bills at home that are like, I don't know why my water bill is so high now. It's never been this high. I've never paid that much. And the maintenance fees don't change. So that's for you guys to figure out. If you want to send me your water bills, send me your water bills. I mean, it's up to you. If you want to share it, we can always take your, your address and your name and stuff out of that if you want to talk about that stuff. But you guys have got to come to me with it. I don't live there, all right? I'm not looking for a leadership role or position. I just want y'all to be informed. Question number 2. Does Lawrenceville Borough's lack of water authority board have an impact on the operations of the water treatment facility since that body has been dissolved, and what was the result? Here's DEP's answer. According to DEP's records, the public water supply permits for the system were transferred to Lawrenceville Borough on January 26, 2018, after the authority was dissolved. DEP does not regulate or comment on the administrative structure of community water systems, but Pennsylvania law does allow for various options. The Chapter 109 Safe Drinking Act regulations define public water supplier as a person who owns or operates a public water system, and person is defined as an individual, partnership, association, company, corporation, municipality, municipal authority, political subdivision, or an agency of federal or state government. The term includes the officers, employees, and agents of a partnership, association, company, corporation, municipality, municipal authority, political subdivision, or an agency of federal or state government. Just can't read the meters that we send Mike out to. So the workers can't read the meters properly. They routinely send Mike out to reread. That, again, I guess is a question of payroll and employees, and where, what are we really paying for, and what are our employees doing on the time? I've had employees in the past. My Radio Shack career, for those of you that know what I did with Radio Shack, I absolutely loved my job, and my career ended. I thought that's what I was always going to do with my life. I thought I was always going to teach people how to use technology and sell it to them. Didn't work out that way, although kind of in a bizarre, roundabout way it did, because here we are, and we may even be changing platforms at some point. And I don't claim to be perfect, and I don't know everything, but I certainly like to be helpful, which is why I believe some people on the council are on the council. I think that they find their skills, to be useful, and I believe that they have good intentions. I don't think that everybody's a bad actor. I think we're really focused on some really micro, small things, like a poop truck and a fence, instead of what's actually going on at your council meetings. Getting those questions asked and getting them answered. Even if the answer is crap, you know what? We've started. Not gonna lie. I mean, I think that this answer was crap. I think a lot of what they sent me was useful for you guys, but I'm gonna go ahead and keep on reading it because this is their public release, basically. So, are there active reports of complaints from residents? And are they a variety of individuals? Are they consistent in locations and complainants, as well as are the complaints investigated and results consistent with DEP findings? That is a mouthful. It was supposed to elicit a response, and it did. So let me read the response. DEP has received water-related complaints over the past 1 to 2 years. Sometimes these complaints are clustered around a specific location, like when a water main broke on Ryan Circle last September, and at other times they are from different locations. The complaints have been mostly related to water color and water pressure. DEP has investigated complaints in accordance with our policies. Most recently, after receiving multiple complaints in June 2022 about discolored water, DEP collected water samples at complainant residences and at the water treatment plant. These samples showed the water met drinking water standards for iron and manganese levels, which would be most relevant to discoloration concerns. So they've only told us that these samples showed the water met drinking water standards for iron and manganese levels, which would be most relevant to discoloration concerns. So there's not a lot of info in here. All right, that's fuzzy. I will post this, when I get home and because it's, an email. So, one of you guys on Twitch do something about that. It smells like skunk out here. Boy, if I was drinking, this would be a lot more fun. No, just kidding. No, I'm not kidding, it would be, but it's okay. All right. Fourth question I asked. The last public inspection report is dated 5/2022. Okay, that's what I've got. Has there been any testing submitted since the resignation of Caleb Geist, and if so, by whom? If these exist, I would like to request official copies. So, they attached an inspection report dated 6/30/22 stemming from complainant investigations and sampling conducted on 6/28 and 6/30. Water testing results for any public water system can be viewed or printed from. They gave me a website. Unfortunately, when you put anything in for the borough, it comes up with an error. I found a couple county websites and some stuff that should be listing information for the county and local public works and stuff that actually don't work. They're HTTP 404 errors and such of the like. Unverified, not found. You just can't. That's just a roadblock. There's nothing there. Where, you search other counties, you absolutely can find information about other counties. But, so, there's that. Some results, like chlorine residual, are supposed to be tested and reported by water system staff. Other results are from samples collected by water system staff but tested by an accredited laboratory, like bacteria or chemical samples. The monthly operating reports for May and June were reviewed by DEP personnel on site during that 6/30/22 inspection, and these reports contain testing results for chlorine, iron, manganese, and pH. Those results are not typically submitted to DEP directly except for chlorine, but DEP reviews them during inspections and can request them at any time if there are suspected issues. Okay. Now, that being said, we are missing what may or may not be vital information, but so far just like hard metals, things like that do cause discoloration in the water. We haven't gotten any information about any actual contaminated water. So they said to me, oh my gosh, you guys, all I wanted to do was swipe away a notification. I'm so sorry. All right, so anyway, again, hard metals, things that would discolor the water, they're not stating specifically that they're even testing for contaminants. They do mention an accredited laboratory. They don't say where or who. None of that information was divulged to me. So I don't know if this was really a question, and both of us kind of agreed on this, but I'm just going to read it to you. Number 5, and this is the last one. I don't think this is a question per se, but any comments that DEP can offer to Lawrenceville Borough residents as to the situation updates progress would be immensely helpful, as there are residents expressing difficulty in obtaining public records through designated channels, and there is a public health concern that has stopped being publicly addressed. My goal is to assist the public with transparency and information so they can be properly informed by the proper authority. All right, guys. This is what they have to say, okay? This is their situation progress update for the borough of Lawrenceville, and I just want to be clear. that this is, I specifically asked for this for you guys, hoping that we could shed some light on what happened the other day, maybe why it happened and what's really going on. And I actually, I posed these questions before that happened. So interesting to note that I asked these questions before we even went to Beaufort's. All right, so this is DEP's response to you guys as the borough residents. When public water systems like Lawrenceville lose their certified operators, DEP remains committed to applying and enforcing the Safe Drinking Water Act to ensure public health is protected and that systems are brought back in full regulatory compliance. DEP monitors all water testing results that are submitted to us to ensure that they meet drinking water standards. DEP has taken enforcement action as necessary to attempt to resolve outstanding violations, including a recent administrative order for the borough's failure to provide a certified operator for the water system. These recent enforcement actions have stemmed from managerial or paperwork-related violations rather than water quality-related violations. Right here, guys. Paperwork-related violations rather than water quality-related violations. So, managerial problems. Okay. The Safe Drinking Water Act requires public notification to be issued for issues including failing to provide the level of treatment approved in the facility's permits, breakdown or water treatment processes, or water sample results not meeting drinking water standards. If a public water system refuses to issue public notification, the department can issue it. If problems like those examples listed above had occurred, the public would have been notified. The department's 6/30/22 inspection determined that the borough's employees were operating the water treatment plant in the same manner that was carried out under the previous certified operator. And in fact, many of the operator's standard operating procedures were still posted at the plant and being followed. The violation cited during that 6/30/22 inspection was for failure to provide a certified operator. No water quality related issues were discovered. The department will continue to conduct inspections as needed to help ensure the borough is providing safe water according to all applicable regulations. So, anyone experiencing issues with the quality of their drinking water or concerned about other potential environmental issues they may observe should contact their regional DEP office to file a complaint. Complaints may be filed over the phone or through a web form. Information about filing complaints is available at dep.pa.gov, right, /complaints. DEP investigates all complaints and will keep complainant identities confidential, which they definitely did. You know, they didn't tell us about anybody that was complaining, and I knew when I wrote this that they wouldn't be able to. But, you know, the elephant in the room's got to always get a mention. It's got to get out there, so there was that. Basically, I wrote them back this morning. We're going to give them a chance to respond, but I was going to say, how do I have so many messages? But you guys are awesome. You're so great. I will have a business phone here soon. Not soon enough, if you ask me, but we'll get there. And I don't want to keep you guys all night. It is 10 after 10, and I've been doing this now. This has been on for a few minutes. Thank you, Cindy, very much for repeat that email. Listen, you're funny, man. I love you guys a lot. You're the best. We did post some invoices, so there's a Penn York accounting invoice on there you guys should check out. There's some questions that should probably be raised about it. All public documents, guys. And whatever I request, whatever they send me, I'm definitely going to post it for you. I did not wait to release the receipts that I sent, and so, all right, let's do a comment. Ready? So the borough was cited for not having a certified operator, but there are no issues. That tells me they will not force a certified operator until there is an issue with the water. DEP must force the certified operator to prevent any issues in the future. The problem is, it is the borough's taxpayers who have to pay these fines. The council would be able to conduct business, but there is one that wants to disrupt. So we can pick that apart a little bit. I I agree that the language that they used with me in the response kind of implies that maybe it's not that big of a deal because, you know, we're operating within, you know, safe regulations. So even though the Safe Water Act says that they need to have a certified operator, if business is kind of going as expected, I guess, that kind of seems like it would turn into, I don't know why we should change it. If it's not broke, don't fix it. I'm not sure that we have the proof. We have to prove those things. And the fact of the matter is the Sheasley's truck shot me to my goal, was my best performing live stream yet, and really didn't have any substance to it. So I think it's indicative that it speaks for itself. Those numbers, you know, that I showed you guys in the beginning while I was inside, I don't know if you got to see them or not, really indicative about how how information, important information, travels around and how it gets interpreted and then, you know, turned back out. So I would love it if you guys come to me with your concerns. I am more than happy to, you know, keep pressing and asking the questions. We've got to have civil discourse, okay, in order to get anything done. I'm not looking into a leadership role. I wasn't even sure if I was going to be a reporter or a content creator or kind of a journalist when this started. Investigative reporter, it certainly wasn't in my list of repertoires. Maybe I'm good at it. You never know. Certainly wasn't what I went to college for. But that's okay. That happens to a lot of folks. And I guess your mid-30s is like the place and time when that really should happen. I'm not renting a Ferrari and driving up the 5. The 5 sucks. So if you're gonna do that for your midlife crisis, I just don't do it. Drive the Beltway, do whatever, you know. Don't go all the way to the 5 because that's just ridiculous and it's expensive. And their gas is like $7 a gallon. So nobody wants to do that. That's just not smart. No, apparently mine is a drastic career change. Maybe it's not a career, maybe it's a public service. I guess if we don't make progress in a year and have some kind of like revenue or profit, I guess even, maybe we'll apply for a 501c and this is, you know, what we do, and you know, there will be no profits to be had. But if people want to help out, like I said, I'm gonna put together at least an Amazon wish list. Money doesn't really do me any good. Not that I certainly don't have enough, but anything to bring value to the content that I am creating, albeit equipment. I need microphones, guys. I feel like really odd asking or telling you that this is a deficiency, but when I sit and review my content, you know, I want to put out a quality product first and foremost. So if we're talking about facts and quality products, the way to obtain both of those is to make sure that I've got good audio on my stream. So I am microphone searching. I am using an iPhone 13 Pro with a battery pack most of the time. I have already invested in a power and splitter, a power and audio splitter for my iPhone. Most of you that have iPhones know we don't have 3.5mm jacks for them. I did some things like dig out my old iPod Touch that does have a 3.5mm jack on it to see what kind of stuff I already have on hand. If maybe I can do some separate audio recording, which if you see some of my shortened videos, I do the best I can to save you guys a bunch of your life. You'll notice that I do have improved audio because I do have my Sony mirrorless camera set up. Sometimes, not all the time. I'm gonna get better about doing that, but it only helps me after the fact, and I've been really transparent and clear that I don't want to edit the content, but 3 hours of content is like super long for you to pick out the important stuff. So that being said, guys, actually now it's like perfectly calm and the peepers and the crickets are out, and this is why I live here. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna put my head on my pillow and know that I at least got an opportunity to share, you know, what DEP did say. Tell you that I did call Sheasley's. they've always been a reputable pillar in the community. Gosh, guys, when I was a kid, they sponsored the ball teams, the community events, the sports. They were big into sponsoring sports. They sponsored the cars at the Chemung County, the demolition derby. Gosh, my dad, for years. I mean, we always had a lot of fun. So, I'm very passionate about our local businesses. You guys know this. I'm passionate about staying local, and supporting our neighbors. And if we want to talk about what the problem is, I think we need to talk about fiscal responsibility, but not with the federal government. We need to talk about it right here at home. And when I asked Tioga County commissioners, what kind of what effect or impact does Lawrenceville's lack of fiscal responsibility have on the county? They said that there's nothing they're going to do without somebody reaching out and asking for help. So that's your cue, you guys. Reach out to your county commissioners, Mr. Bunn, Mr. Coolidge. Gosh, the other guy's name is escaping me because I'm full of information right now, and not just from Lawrenceville, but you guys know we've covered Tioga Borough. We started covering down there. They had hired a police officer, caused a big ruckus. So politics aside, check on your neighbor, ask what you can do for your community. And we see these acts, just little bits all the time. When you guys see me in the store, you see me at Tioga Old Home Days, you said, your words are great. What can we do to get everybody registered to vote, right? So I guess if you leave with anything here tonight, are you registered to vote? I think you're running out of time. I mean, we just had a small set of primaries over the last couple of days. New York, Florida, I know Washington State had just finished a couple weeks ago with theirs. They're important. Just because it's not the 4-year presidential election is not necessarily determining what your quality of life is like tomorrow. And those of you guys that have been around me for the last couple of years, you know that I'm not focused on the federal government, and it's important, absolutely, 100%, and they should be setting a good example. So I guess if my plea here is make sure you're registered to vote, make sure you're informed, about your representatives. You guys that are here in Tioga County that are in this district, Clint Owlett is your state representative. If you are not aware, he sits on the ethics committee. He should be receiving phone calls, emails, letters. Ask him to respond to you. It's his job to work for you. Write him. What is he doing for you? He's on the ballot uncontested in November. Has your life improved? Do you want to see change? You have to ask for it. And I'm absolutely here to give you a mouthpiece, give you guys a platform to do it. Let's brainstorm, again, send me your pictures, send me your messages. I went right out, and covered the Sheasley's thing as soon as you guys all let me know. And, it worked for my channel, but I don't feel like it worked for you as a resident or a citizen or even, like a constituent. So make sure you're registered to vote. Life's too short. Love your family. Don't put things off. You never know what you're not, tomorrow's here. And check on your damn veterans. All right. Night.